One of the most dominant and feared mixed martial artists in the world now is Jon Jones. He competes in the lightweight division. It is common knowledge that he is one of the greatest boxers in the history of the sport, and his record demonstrates why this is the case. Jones was born on July 19, 1987 in the city of Rochester, in the state of New York. Both of his parents worked in the medical field. Arthur Jones was a minister, while Camille Jones was a nurse. Jones was a natural athlete when he was younger and competed in a number of different sports throughout his childhood, including track and field, wrestling, and football. However, it wasn't until he was 16 years old that he started training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai that he realized what he really wanted to do with his life. Jones gained a reputation almost immediately for his unconventional technique and remarkable agility very rapidly. When he was just 21 years old, he started competing in amateur kickboxing and mixed martial arts contests. By the time he reached that age, he had compiled an incredible record of 6-0. Jones made his debut in mixed martial arts competition on a professional level in 2008, and he rapidly established himself as a rising talent in the sport. At UFC 94 in 2009, he scored his first major victory by defeating Stephan Bonnar. This was his first major victory. After that, he went on to have a string of dominant performances against some of the best competitors in the UFC, such as Brandon Vera, Vladimir Matyushenko, and Ryan Bader, among others. Jones achieved his greatest success in 2011, when he fought Mauricio "Shogun" Rua to become the youngest ever UFC light heavyweight title at the age of just 23. This victory made Jones the youngest ever UFC light heavyweight champion. After that, he went on to successfully defend his championship an unprecedented 8 times, including victories against some of the most formidable competitors in the sport, like as Daniel Cormier, Alexander Gustafsson, and Chael Sonnen. This set a record that still stands today. Jones's fighting style is one of a kind, incorporating elements of grappling, wrestling, and striking. He is tall and has a long reach, both of which he puts to good use by standing on his opponents with a variety of kicks and knee blows and using his height to his advantage. Additionally, he is a great wrestler who possesses some of the most impressive takedowns in the industry. The capacity of Jones to modify and improve his fighting style has been one of the factors that has contributed to his overall success. He never stops learning about his adversaries and looks for holes in their defenses that he might exploit. He has also put a significant amount of effort into improving his strength and conditioning, which has enabled him to keep his dominant position inside the cage. However, over his career, Jones has been involved in a number of controversial incidents. After slamming his automobile into a telephone pole in 2012, he was detained for driving under the influence of alcohol. He was given a fine of $50,000 and given a suspension from the UFC that lasted for several months. In 2015, he was a party to a hit-and-run accident that resulted in injuries to a pregnant woman. He fled the scene of the accident. Jones was disqualified from his title and given a lengthy suspension by the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC. Jones continues to be one of the most intriguing and gifted fighters in the sport, despite the recent defeats he has suffered. He has been able to triumph over challenges and maintain his dominance over his rivals within the cage. Because of his singular approach to combat and unrelenting drive to perform at the highest level, he has earned a spot among the most accomplished practitioners of mixed martial arts of all time. Here are 5 of Jon Jones' most notable fights. Jon Jones vs. Mauricio "Shogun" Rua, UFC 128, March 19, 2011. This was Jones' first UFC title fight, and he made the most of it. He dominated from the opening bell, ended up winning by TKO, and became the youngest ever UFC champion at 23 years old. Jon Jones vs. Alexander Gustafsson, UFC 165, September 21, 2013. This fight was widely regarded as one of the greatest light heavyweight bouts of all time. Jones eventually won by unanimous decision, but Gustafsson gave him all he could handle. Jon Jones vs. Daniel Cormier, UFC 182, January 3, 2015. This was a highly anticipated grudge match between two of the sport's biggest names. Jones ended up winning by unanimous decision, but the build-up to the fight, which included a now infamous brawl at a press conference, was just as memorable as the actual bout. Jon Jones vs. Vitor Belfort, UFC 152, September 22, 2012. This was a classic striker versus grappler matchup, as Jones' unorthodox striking style was pitted against Belfort's vaunted submission game. Jones ended up getting the win by submission himself, and the fight helped cement his status as one of the sport's all-time greats. Jon Jones vs. Chael Sonnen, UFC 159, April 27, 2013. This fight was notable mostly for the build-up, as Sonnen trash-talked Jones relentlessly in the lead-up to the bout. Once the fight actually started, though, it was clear who the better fighter was. Jones won by TKO in the first round, and Sonnen was left to eat his words.